So we're standing there naked. We're now exposed. As the original people of the scriptures, we are now exposed. We don't have no form of protection. We don't have no form of covering. We don't have a leadership over us. We don't have someone that represents the Hebrew Israelites in government. There's no political parties that is representing us. Like we're ruled by other nations. Go ahead up.
That they have no covering in the cold.
Right.
They are wet with showers of the mountains.
So we're seeing now we're being exposed to elements that's actually destroying us as a body. Go ahead.
And embrace the rock for want of a shelter.
So instead of actually taking on the garment of putting on the armor of the armor of God mentioned in Ephesians, instead of actually equipping ourselves and clothing ourselves in the righteousness of the law, we're looking for carnal things to cover ourselves with. So this is why we end up going into Christianity. This is why we end up taking on ideologies. When you ask people their nationality, they give you a religion. Right. How does that even grammatically make any sense? That we're now looking for these other things. But somewhere at Jeremiah 17. Go ahead up.
And thou evil thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
So we had a particular heritage. It's not like we weren't sure. It wasn't like, oh, we didn't know what to do. We had a heritage. The Most High God gave us heritage as the Israelites.
That's right.
But can someone bring out Jeremiah 2 verse 33? Jeremiah 2 verse 33. We decided not to go along with what the Most High God said is our very culture, our very way of being, our mindset, our lifestyle. We decided to go another way. We discontinued from the heritage of Yahawashi. So we've got Jeremiah 2 verse 33.
Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 33.
Bring out
Why trimmest thou ways to seek love?
So hold on, just that line alone, you don't need to read the rest of the. So actually read that again up.
Why trimmest thou ways to seek love?
Hey, I know some of us when we go to work or we go to certain places and there's predominantly like other nations. You know when you almost have to water down yourself as a person?
That's right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, like even like a personality, when you're in the corporate world, you can't talk particular types of lingo. You can't operate and conduct yourself in a particular way. You got to do it to appeal to the white man. Right. Read that line again up.
Why trimmest thou thy ways to seek love?
And this is what we're doing now. We've got a lot of coonery in Israel. We've got a lot of people that will compromise their own people. Actually, do you know what? Someone bring out Micah 2 verse 8 and someone bring out 1 Maccabees 11. No, first Maccabees chapter 1. So Micah 2 and verse 8, and then 1 Maccabees chapter 1. Micah 2 verse 8, and then 1 Maccabees chapter 1. And then start with verse 11, then jump to verse 21. Who's got Micah 2 verse 8? Brothers, quick to the swords. I know it's raining. Yeah. Got that?
This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
Even of late my people is risen up as an enemy. He pull off the robe with the garment from them that passed by securely and meant a burst for war.
This is our own people looking for our demise. Can you imagine the demise of our own people? This is the black community. The Bible prophesied this is going to happen in our community. But guess what? The Bible also has the resolution of how we can be refolded back into this truth. We can actually be restored only if we come back. Someone bring up 2 Chronicles 7 verse 14. But who's got 1 Maccabees chapter 1? So someone bring out 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 14, and then who has first? Go ahead, up.
Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 13. In vain have I smitten your children.
Right.
There receives no correction. Your own sword have devoured your prophets like a destroying lion.
You see that? We become our own demise. Like we become the destruction of our own selves. And this is where Israel needs to be held accountable for some of the foolishness that we got up to. 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 11. Like we can be restored. Like there's step by step, there's scriptures in the Bible how to restore the black community. That's right. like this is not a religion. We don't come for religion. We just care about our own people. Why do you think Proverbs 1 verse 20 says wisdom cry out? She's on the streets, paraphrasing. Like we're out here. Like even if there's snow, as long as my train can get me down here, I'm coming out to preach that said the Lord. We don't care unless I physically cannot move. We're coming out on these streets because we care about our own people.
That's right.
The other nations, we don't care about any other nation, you know. If you are black, Hispanic or Native American, you are the descendants of the very people in the Bible.
That's right.
And because of that, you have a heritage where you are obligated to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. Who's got that?
Right.
You got first? Go ahead, Art.
Verse Maccabee 1 and verse 11.
Go ahead.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
You see that? You see, we are so caught up on wanting to integrate with all the other nations, all the other cultures, that we've lost our own culture as the people of God. As black people, so-called black people, Hispanic people, Native American people, we have gone so far away, we decided to go and take on other customs. That's right. We decided to go and celebrate Christmas. Our forefathers never celebrated Christmas. We're celebrating Easter. I'm seeing our people celebrating Halloween.
That's right.
And there was a time when, in Jamaica we said Duppy no for frightened.
That's right.
Now you're having man dressing up like Duppy.
That's right.
But yet when they're in calamity, who are they going to call on though?
Right.
They're not going to call on that Duppy they try to dress up in when they should have actually come back to the very dressing of the righteousness of the law.
That's right.
Jump to verse 21.
First Maccabees 1 and verse 21.
Go ahead.
And entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light and all the vessels thereof.
Someone bring out Proverbs 7 verse 2 and someone bring out the book of Baruch chapter 4 verse 1. There's a carnality in our own people. I don't see white people watching faces with other white people in the way that we mug our brothers. I can see an elder. Back in the day, you see an elder, you show respect. Now the youngers, they don't care. Elder, they won't even help you on the bus.
I don't know.
Sorry, what was that, Elder?
I'm trying to disagree with this slightly because I find it's the youngsters today who show me more respect than the elders do.
So you're saying the youngers show you respect more than other elders?
Yeah.
But that's dysfunction as well. That's a great thing.
It is great, but
There should be a respect that we show as elders. Actually,
it's fine. You know, I agree with what you're saying to a certain extent.
right.
But I find that normally, when I walk on the street,
Right.
or going on a bus, usually it's the school children who say, excuse me,
Right.
or can I, or after you.
Right.
Elders put the way through.
Could someone bring out Deuteronomy 28 verse 54, and then someone bring out Acts chapter 4 and start at 32.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse
Listen to this, Elder, because what you just said is in the Bible. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 54.
Bring it out.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate.
So there was a time when you would have a brotherhood or a mutual respect because you're more mature in age with your fellow brother. That's what you just mentioned. Go ahead.
His eye shall be evil towards his brother
Go ahead.
and towards the wife of his bosom.
But just rest right there. You see that? What you just said is in the Bible. This is prophecy. Like, we're not going to have that same type of love. We don't have that same type of respect. Does someone have, bring up Romans 6 verse 17. Because you're much more older than me, sir. Sorry, do you mind me asking, like, your background, your nationality, where
It
you're
doesn't
from?
necessarily mean that I'm wiser than you.
But guess what? It's still a respect that I have to give you. So could someone bring up Romans 6 verse 17?
Romans 6 and verse 17.
Go ahead.
But God be thanked that ye were the servants of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart that from a doctrine which was delivered you.
So our elders actually imparted particular doctrines to us. And that was from the law, statutes, and commandments. You might be asking, you go to church?
My background?
Yes. I don't want to make any assumptions. It's actually good to pleasure to meet. My name's Andrew, by the way.
I'm Paul.
Paul, pleasure to meet you. See that? Paul.
That's
That's all right.
okay, what do you think of it?
Sorry?
What do you think of it?
No, I just want to understand your background. Are you a Christian, a Muslim, or what's your religious, biblical lens, or any other ideology?
No. There's a question more than one.
Right. Okay, so you can see that in our community, we're the most damaged right now. In terms of, we're literally like the first fired, last hired.
Yeah.
You're seeing that in our countries, other nations have taken so much advantage of the resources that we have.
But we do as well.
Yes, we do. And this is where we need to be held accountable. Someone bring up, are you in Deuteronomy 28? Go to verse 15. Because, like, as much as I'm tired of the other nations, the Chinese folk, the so-called Ammonites, the Moabites, the Chinese, the Arabs, the white folk, for how they've damaged our people as well, yo, there's an accountability that we must have. So, go ahead.
Film I saw.
Sorry, 1 second.
There's something in the media, film I saw, and it was a sort of kind of comedy. And there were these so-called wannabe gangsters.
Right.
And he came back and he said to the woman who was going to be hanged, he said, what I got to mug somebody, they just look at me and they laugh at me. They show no respect, and she said to him, she says, the reason why they show no respect is because they do not fear.
That's right.
You see, we walk along the world and we show people how much we disrespect each other. If I tell you that I've received a comparable amount of disrespect from black people,
Right.
I have received from white.
Okay, so I want to show you something in the scriptures. Literally what you're saying. Everything you're saying is prophesied in the scriptures. Bring out
Isaiah 3, verse 12.
Yeah.
As for my people,
Right.
children are their oppressors,
Right.
and the woman rule over them.
So that type of dysfunction is found amongst our people. And then we end up having to get involved. Look, we end up seeing that because our people like that, we would run to other nations. Or not even saying you're running to other nations, you'll feel that you don't get that from other people. There's something terribly wrong.
Yep, there is.
Even when historically these other nations have a wonderful track record of destroying, raping, robbing everything that we own.
Yep.
So the question is, what do we now do? Did someone have Proverbs 7 verse 2 and the book of Baruch chapter 4 verse 1?
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1.
Bring it out, man.
This is the book of the commandments of Yahawah.
Yeah.
And the law that endureth forever.
Go ahead.
All they that keep it shall come to life.
Come on.
But such as leave it shall die.
So, see, our destruction is because we don't want to be obedient. We don't want to be obedient. We don't want to love our brethren. And actually, while you bring out which one? Proverbs 7 verse 2. While you bring that out, because someone else look for it'll come back to me. Proverbs 7 and 2.
It's in Proverbs chapter 7 and verse 2.
Yeah.
Keep my commandments and live.
This is the only way we're going to live, through obedience. The only way we will live. But hold on 1 second now though. There's also the fact that you're wondering, what's our main aim? What's our message? What are we doing out here? Just shouting a whole lot of scriptures. Essentially, the very descendants of the Bible are the Hebrew Israelites, right? Now, you're not black, because you're not the exact same color as your hat. Your hat's black. There's no land called black. There's no language called black. People say Africa, and that's the surname of a white man. So how can you be African? What does the Most High God call you? Funny enough, he called you royalty. No, you good. No, you good. So this is where we need to come to that stage, where we realize that the Bible was not for anyone else. Someone bring out Psalms 50 verse 16.
Yeah, I'll just let
This is what we need to understand. The Bible is our heritage. We don't believe in no religion. Religion has only caused war and destruction.
That's
But
right.
if you're so-called black, Hispanic, or Native American, this Bible's actually speaking about you. The Bible it's not speaking about anyone else. Other nations stole our Bible. That's why it's always funny when you hear. It's always funny. You got the scripture?
The book of Psalms, chapter 50, verse 7.
16. Bring out 16. The book of Psalms chapter 50, Bible, verse 16.
Psalms 50, verse 16.
Bring it out.
But unto the wicked God said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes? Or as thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?
Wait, rest right there. You see, if I write a book for my family, about my family, for how my family should conduct themselves, and then another family or another set of people take my book, and they take it for hundreds and hundreds of years, they start remixing it because they realize that, wow, this is profound information. Just because they had it for so long doesn't mean that it was originally their book. And this is where so-called black people, Hispanic people, and Native American people are going back to the laws of the book, going back to living by the book.
That's right.
Not contrary to what your Christian pastor's saying, because there's hypocrisy in church. This is why we're not in church, you know. We don't care about the church building. Because guess what? Acts chapter 7 verse 48 says, God does not dwell in places built by man's hands. But wisdom, as we said, is crying out in the streets. Look, it's cold. It's raining. We could have been at home. We could be eating, just talking with each other. But we're out here for the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American people. Because you're the priority of God. You're the priority of God, and this is where you got to separate from the other nations, whether we like it or not.
That's right.
You see, the moment we integrated, it was only at the demise of black people. All the other nations thrived. All the other nations thrived. But when we began to integrate, it was at the demise of our own people.
Bring it up.
And this is curses. Someone bring out Deuteronomy 28 verse 15. Go ahead, bring out.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 7.
Come on.
The Lord is perfect.
The Lord is what?
The Lord is perfect.
One more time.
The Lord is perfect.
Bring out.
Converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
Look, we don't have no wisdom outside of the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
And you see that wisdom that you said, I might have more than you or you more than me? We can connect on the same level of wisdom through the precepts, through the law, the statutes, the commandments.
That's right.
This rugged book that people think was written by the white man, don't even realize it was our people that wrote it. The culmination. If you want to go to the roots of the Bible, the Textus Receptus, the Codex, the Leningrad, the Aleppo Codex, the Masoretic texts, those are the roots of where the Bible that we have today, the 1611 edition.
Right.
This is what we have, and it was consolidated in North Africa. How could this be a white man's book?
Right.
And it shows the destruction of what the white man did to us.
Right.
Go ahead, Elder.
Do you believe there was an Exodus, what the Bible
Yes.
relates?
Yes. Archaeological evidence.
Do you want to believe there was one?
Yes, I do. We can go further. Are we using Deuteronomy 28? Can you go to verse 16?
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16.
Wait, hold up. You see, because sometimes people are not sure whether the Bible is real or not. But do you know why we can confirm it's real, contrary to other belief? It's because there's prophecies that you're seeing live out now. Like no other book. One second, Elder. No other book has actually portrayed specific accounts and events in this world
That's
than
right.
the Bible. Now, I need you to answer this question, though, Elder, with all due respect, right? No, if you can't, then it's no problem. But I'm telling you, the questions I'm going to ask will be very easy for you to answer, right? So bring out verse 16.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16.
Yeah.
Thus shalt thou be in the city,
So like it.
and thus shalt thou be in the field.
So who was on the fields? The cotton fields.
Mainly people from Africa.
Okay, so I also want to send a distinguishment. Not every, you know the common phrase, not all skin folk is kinfolk.
Yeah.
Right? So in 70 AD,
I heard it and I believe that.
yeah, so there's actually a distinguishment between the Hebrew Israelites and the Africans. They're the Hamites. You know, like Noah, he had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, Japheth. Who we call Africans now, yeah, the natives, they're Hamites, and we are Shemites. When you're ready, when you get home, or when you look at this, when you have time, check the siege of Jerusalem in 70 AD. There was our people that lived in Israel. The Europeans chased us out, killed a lot of us, destroyed our temples.
Right.
And then we went into. Oh, sorry. Thank you. We went into the continent of Africa to blend in. There was already dark-skinned people there.
Oh yeah.
So we went to blend in. Someone bring out Psalms 105 verse 23. Someone bring out Exodus 11 verse 7. So So no, I'm gonna explain the African part. So when we got into Africa, we were densely populated in West Africa, Cameroon, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Ghana, and stuff like that. But then what happened? The Europeans came and said to the natives, "Where's those people that came from Israel? We're trying to get them. We're trying to kill them. We're trying to destroy them." The natives went, "There they are. Look, there they are," and they helped grab them up. So when you see pictures where black folk sold other black folk, no, we weren't all the same. Just like you can look at a white person and say, "No, that's not a British white person. He looks Polish." Right? There was a distinguishment. Who's got exit?
Psalm chapter 105 verse 23.
Bring it out.
Israel also came into Egypt.
Right?
And Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham.
In the land of Ham. That is what we call today Africa.
That's right.
So that's history. And then look what book is that in?
Psalm 105 verse 23.
That's Psalms. That's almost 3,000 years before that even took place.
Right. So what you're saying then? So who were the people who were chased by the
Europeans and other nations.
Egyptians, but Egyptians across the desert to the Red Sea? Who were these people?
Those were the Hamites. Those were the natives. Because the Egyptians bring. Oh, who's the people that got chased?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. That's you. That's us. That was us, the Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
So do you mind me asking, what's your background? Like in terms of like nationality, country,
Education.
Sorry?
Education.
So education is background. Are we going to go into semantics today, Elder?
Well, no, I teach some youngsters. I've been involved in social work. I protected and supported family of a young man who was shot 8 times in the Yahawashi farm.
No, but Elder, I'm asking, where's your background from? Like my background from Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Like
From my background from Africa.
which part? What country?
All of it.
So you come from all of Africa.
Yes.
Do you see the type of? Do you see why I say we're destroyed for a lack of knowledge?
No. So, I am an African who was born in Barbados.
So you're born in Barbados. Okay. How did those people in Barbados get to Barbados?
Well, it all depends on who you're talking about.
So-
See, when they tell people that the first Barbadians were white, they get. But they were, because when I came, when I came, because I am my fourth parent.
Right.
I am my fourth father.
Yeah.
Right? So when I came to Barbados, it just made me a big deal, no Barbadians.
Someone bring
the
up
first people there weren't African. I'm an African.
So the problem with that is that the islands were densely populated with slaves that were distributed around the world in ships.
Now, the islands were densely populated with people who were indigenous to the island.
So no, there's indigenous people that were also in Africa. That's also the Native Americans and Native Indians as well. But I'm saying, what I'm saying to you is that the original people of the land that went into the land of the Caribbean were put over the sea.
That's right. But
So-
the indigenous population were not Africans.
No, I agree with you.
Right.
We agree. We can even go as far to say the indigenous people of America, they were the first people in America, right? Who some people call them Native Americans, but we just say that for the sake of terminology.
That's
But
right.
do you even know that they were sold into slavery as well, into
No.
Africa?
The indigenous peoples of America were a mixture of Africans and other people.
That was our forefathers.
Yes.
Right.
So someone bring up verse 68. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Listen to this, Elder.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So we came out of Egypt, yeah, out of slavery, let my people go. Moses did a great thing. But in verse 15, because we didn't want to obey the Most High God, he said, that's fine, you're going to do your own thing. You're going to end up in issues with the other nations that are going to try to take you over. And I'm not going to help you. But guess what's going to happen? You're going to end up going around the world. Bring out the precepts again.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68.
Yeah.
And the Lord
Lord
shall
shall
bring
bring
thee
thee
into
into
Egypt
Egypt
again
again
with
with
ships.
ships.
With ships. Now, which other set of people was sold into Egypt, which means slavery, house of bondage? That's what it means. Who was sold in ships?
I'm a little bit confused here because when you talk about are you talking about slavery as an industry that existed, or are you specifically talking about the transatlantic slave trade.
So we know that there was
that's another story.
yeah. So we know that there's a few slaves. There was even the sub-Saharan slave trade. We know that the Chinese had us in slavery as well as with the Japanese. Who they weren't called Chinese Japanese at the time. They were called Ammonites and Moabites. You see the Bible. But what I'm saying is this particular scripture is also referring to the transatlantic slave trade.
I don't think so.
So which slave trade is that one prophesying about?
I think that particular issue that we're reading refers to a slave trade that was practiced all over the continent. The transatlantic slave trade, believe me, is another story, is another element.
But that's the prophecy of that scripture, sir. It said that we're going to come out from the land where we wouldn't know and we'll speak another tongue. And it said, go to that verse.
But they whereof I spake unto thee,
Right.
thou shalt see it no more again,
Right.
and then ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
We were going to be sold to our enemies. Who bought us in 1619 and in 1495? Who bought us when we landed? Wherever we landed, who was the people that was actually buying and selling us on the auction? Forced? What do you mean? Well, who forced us in slavery?
Yeah, who forced us
Psalms 83.
because
Psalms 83. We didn't. We didn't walk it.
if you say that we were slaves,
Yes.
we weren't slaves.
Break them up.
So,
He's
so
sleeping.
hold on.
Let me finish. You see, that's the problem.
No, go ahead. No one's
We were not slaves. We were taken by force.
Yes, I agree.
And
Elder, I
forced,
agree with you.
and forced under threat of violence to work for nothing.
Elder, I agree with you. But
Right.
that's whether you like it or not, that's still slavery.
But it could be, it's called slavery, but to say that we were slaves is a different element altogether. I don't know. I don't think
But Elder, that's kind of semantics. You'd have to go around. Go around. That's semantics. If someone takes your children, yeah, they kill you, they take your children and sell them to a white person or a Chinese person, and that Chinese person or white person gets them to work hard labor, no paying, no nothing, beat them every now and again. Your daughter might even get raped every now and again. Isn't that a slave?
No.
So that's not a slave.
That's a person taken by force.
Okay, so can you explain to me what's a slave?
I really don't know.
So it's not what I say it is, but I don't know what it is. So you don't know what a slave is,
No.
but it's definitely not what I say it is.
It's definitely not what I feel that by force.
But we can't go based on feelings.
We can't. We can't. No. We can't and we should.
Elder, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, Elder. Look, you're caught up on the semantics of us not being slaves, but we were held
Please hear me.
in captivity.
No. We can have our arguments and we should do it. Because that is our gift. Feeling. That's our gift.
So
That's what a lot of people have about.
we've been governed by feelings for so many years that we actually strayed away from the precepts of the law, statutes, and commandments. How has that actually helped our people?
No, we have.
Yeah, no, we have.
No, we have.
No, we have, because we now built even emotional attachments to white folk.
No.
So we have.
See, those things that were not linked over people. First of all, for the feeling. Except for them, I can talk. I can talk to you right here. I can talk.
The thing is, we don't actually care about them. No, this is what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is the vibe, the connection
Yes.
is still there.
Yeah,
But some of us have that. Some of us have had that out of us.
and I agree, but Elder, you know we are agreeing, but it's a matter of like how you would define the name of it. But at the end of the day, the Bible still stands. Like someone who's got Psalms 83, and we can close up on this. Psalms 83, start from verse 2. Because whether we like it or not, the other nations took over us. We're not ruling this country right now. White people rule this world. Yeah? White people are ruling this world, and we don't have no form of rulership. That was because we didn't want to be obedient to the Most High God.
Right.
Whether we like it or not, whether we go into what this means or that means, like, we are at the bottom. But you know, the Most High God said that if we come back, if my people who are called by my name, my people, not all people,
Right.
my people, who are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, seek their face, seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways. Then I will hear from heaven and I will heal their land. You know, this land is going to be healed and we will be ruling it as so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American people.
But where does the Most High God live?
Sorry?
Where does the Bible tell you that the Most High God lives?
He's reflected within us and he resides in the third heavens.
Not reflecting. Where does he live?
No, in the third heavens.
And where is that?
That's beyond.